I was addicted to porn for 7 years. I was exposed in first grade, where one of my best friends at the time, he was one of the first ones who had a phone, and he went on. We were in the corner of the class, like talking, whatever. He wasn't supposed to have his phone out, but he did anyway. He would like shuffle through like his Chrome browsers. He opened one, and he showed me that, hey, look, did you know there's naked people? And I went, naked people. And as a little boy, you don't know the side effects. First thing I did, I went home, went on my iPod, which is basically like a phone, but it doesn't have the service plan, like you can't call or text people. And I was hooked. And for 7 years, up until I was 14, I was addicted to porn. It started with I would just watch it and get like a high, then I would start masturbating with it, and then it would be like multiple times a day, and then it got even more. There was a brief period when I was around 12 years old where it would be like 3 to 6 times a day. This was during the COVID lockdown, and I was doing online school, and because I'm gifted by like educational standards, I was able to finish all my classes really quickly. So I'd finish my classes, come in here, literally, and then do the deed, which is disgusting to think about, but that's what happened. That's what a lot of people struggle with. And I remember one of the hardest things was I didn't really want to anymore. And as I was learning about God, as I was learning about Christianity, a lot of things really stuck out to me as, okay, so this is a bad thing. I understood it wasn't good for me, but I was so trapped in the old habit, the old mindset, the old just comfort behind it, that this is just what I do. This is normal. And to a certain degree that it is. But you're not clicking this because you want to be normal in that sense. You're clicking this because you want to improve. And just a side point, if you do want to improve, I do have a community here centered around Christian-based self-improvement. These 3 courses, so there's when you join it, it's like a pre-sale. You'll get the whole thing for free. Normally people would have to pay like a monthly payment because all the courses that are going to be added, plus the community aspect. Right now, if you get it now, then you'll have it forever. In here there's 3 courses, and one of them is based on how to quit porn and how to defeat lust, and it's going to be all the stuff I'm telling you here except way more and way more detail, and I'm going to give you like specific resources and trackers and all that kind of stuff. You'll understand when you're in there because you'll be able to like message me, and I'll be able to explain everything in more detail, but just throwing that out there, it's very difficult. And one of the most important things, there's 3 things I'm going to teach you today: identity shifting, meditation, and environmental changes, and probably in the order of importance. There's 2 things, and then there's a story that I'm going to tell you with this one. For identity shifting, one of the most important things as a Christian is simply just put your faith in Christ. Christ speaks very heavily against sexual sin, against adultery, against, I believe, sex with minors. I haven't read it personally, but I've seen it. Like, I've seen people talk about it. Speaks against many things regarding sexual sin. And everybody talks like the number one Bible quote or whatever is Philippians 4:13, I believe, is I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. If that speaks to you, if you get like an emotional response when you hear those words come out of my mouth, or like reading it, or you've gotten it in the past, my main recommendation for you is literally put it on your wall. I have all kinds of stuff on my wall here dependent on the mindset that I want to have. And that's part of the environmental changes, which I'm going to get into even more detail in a little bit. I have notes on it or whatever. But change your identity. Clean your room. Here, I'm just going to pile them in one. Clean your room so it looks different. In order to change your identity, you need a shift. People act completely different when they move. For example, like my girlfriend's going from where I live now all the way to a different state. When she's in that different state, I told her, because it's very important, it's very big in psychology, that when you change your environment, you kind of have like a reset. And depending on what you do with that reset is kind of how the rest of your life is going to go. Obviously, that's not how it is. And we have free will and all that kind of stuff. But the point is, it's going to give you like a little boost. So clean your room. Make sure your house is clean. Clean out your bag, the area that you normally do the deed in. Clean it out. delete a bunch of apps off your phone, delete Google, delete all that stuff. You're obviously going to download it back in a little bit. But just for the next couple of days, just keep everything clean. Change your identity. Put your faith in Him. Put your faith that this is something I'm not supposed to do. Because when you sin, it's essentially you saying, no, God, my plan is better than yours. Which isn't the case. God created us in His image, and that's how we're supposed to act, dependent on His commandments and the things that Jesus taught us. When you put your faith in that, truly, when you genuinely put everything you have into it, through leveling up your willpower, through leveling up your discipline, through reading the Bible, listening to more podcasts about people talking about it, going to more sermons, participating in more Bible study with a genuine open heart to the ideas. That's how you put your identity in Him. It's not just saying, okay, I'm a Christian now. It's actually doing the actions. And the only way to get closer to the point of putting more and more faith into God, into Christ, is just by doing more of the actions with intentfulness. If you look at people who drive, for example, when you learn to drive, you have an instructor. And it only takes, in my country or my state or whatever, I'm American, it only takes 50 or so driving hours with an instructor in order to get your driver's license once you get your permit. After that, most people actually get worse at driving after they get their license. The reason is, when they were trying to get their license, not only did they have someone saying, oh, make sure you turn your shoulder here and hold the handle like this, and oh, you put too much gas on the pedal there, like, you shouldn't have did that, like, whatever. But they had the intention of getting better. So when they're with their parent or their friend with the license or whatever, because in order to, like, get your driving hours, in order to drive in the car when you only have your permit, you need someone with a license in the car who can basically say, like, oh, do that, don't do that. When they're there and that person doesn't really know how to teach, their intention still is on doing the good habits. It's looking over the shoulder, it's making sure you're checking all the mirrors, all that type of stuff. When people get their license, they tend to go, I got it now. And then they stop improving, and they actually get worse. They stop checking over their shoulder, they will scroll on their phone, just because they were listening to something important, or they had a text they wanted to reply to, or whatever. The point isn't doing the action. If the point to improving was doing the action, everybody would be an F1 driver. But that's not the point. Everyone who's a Christian would be a priest and be perfect at it, because everybody would just build off each other. That's not how it works. You don't become a better Christian just by going to church. You don't become a better Christian just by praying. Those things will 100% help you, but it's the intention behind it, the meaningfulness behind it, how much effort you're putting in, how much critiquing in your own mind that you're doing to the actions that you did. I could have said this better. I could have did this better. Oh, I thought that this text meant this, but this person is saying it means that. Let me listen to them. That's how you put your identity in Him. Second thing, simply just saying to yourself, I'm not someone who masturbates. I'm not someone who watches porn. I'm not someone who's unloyal to my wife. I'm not someone who cheats or befoodles. I don't even know what that word means, but I said it because it sounds funny. Bars. I'm not somebody who does that. And this is simple. Just keep saying it to yourself. When you get those urges, just say, don't say, no, I don't want to. Oh, I'm not going to. Oh, should I? Don't do that, because now you're arguing with the urge. The urge is always going to win if you argue with it. You need to flat out in your head, even out loud. If you live by yourself, there's no reason why you can't be responding to what I'm saying right now to be more engaged. Nobody knows. God knows. That's it. Maybe your neighbor thinks you're a little bit crazy because you're talking to yourself. But if you turn the volume up enough, then you'll hear me. Simply just saying, whenever you get those urges in your head, no, I'm not someone who masturbates. No, I'm not someone who watches porn. And then end it. And then the urge may or may not go away. Another thing, I'm compiling all of these into one section, so I don't know how long this video is going to be. Normally it takes me 10 minutes per section. When you compile these things together, shifting your identity, your environmental changes, we can say meditation, but that doesn't really apply here, so just environmental changes and identity shifting. When you get the urges, it's most usually in the place where you already do it. I only get urges when I'm in my bed. Because for years, when I was in my bed, I would do that. Now, I have different sheets and pillows or whatever the hell you want to say. It's a different bed, quote unquote. It's the same mattress, but you know what I mean. I only ever got the urges in my bed. Or in a bed. So that's the only time I would do it. You never get your urges when you're on the tennis field or on your porch. So when you get those urges, this is something that's very, very difficult, and you're going to have to use a little bit of like willpower and maybe ask for some as well, probably ask for some. But the simple thing is, when you're in your bed, when you're about to do the thing, just move from your location. You're not going to be like fapping while walking. You're not going to be like, yeah. That's not how it works. Nobody does that. So, just change your environment. Third thing, and then I'm going to move on to meditation. If you have a partner, be honest about it. There was a time with my girlfriend where I had fallen back. For roughly 2 years, I was clean. I wasn't masturbating to like pictures or Instagram or porn or whatever. There was a period of a couple days where I had slipped. It wasn't like porn or anything, but I had saw something inappropriate like while scrolling on Instagram, which is why I don't scroll on Instagram anymore. But I had saw something inappropriate while scrolling on Instagram. And all of the discipline, all of the willpower, all of the everything that I previously had was gone because I stopped asking for it. I stopped prioritizing it. So it went away. And when I saw it, I was in the location where I normally do the deed, where I normally like wank it. And I did it. And that lasted maybe like once a day for a couple days. And didn't even realize that I did it because it's so deeply ingrained to us as a habit that it's very, very hard to break and even hard to realize it's like a bad thing because it's just normal. The day I thought about it, the day I realized this is a bad thing, I came clean. And it absolutely broke my girlfriend's heart. I told her everything. I told her it was like a couple times. I don't remember how many times it was, but it was over the course of a couple days. Broke her heart. Crying for like a month, not like wanting to be touched or touching me for like a month. It was absolutely a horrible, horrible, horrible experience. And I'm being intimate with you about it because I want you to understand the process. It sucked. But the thing that came from that was good. After the fact, once, I don't want to say gone over it, but once it had left her heart, once the idea had kind of been like cleansed over, once we had got back to, well, once she got back to trusting me, not like she didn't before. I have an amazing girlfriend. She has full faith in me all of the time, but she knows I make mistakes. And what happened was she actually respected me more after the fact, and she actually loved me more, and she actually trusted me more afterwards because I was honest when I didn't have to be. I could have not told her anything, and it would have been completely fine. Nobody would have knew. Nobody would have really cared, to be honest. And that's it. I could have gotten away with it. But I know that's not the right thing to do because I know I wasn't loyal in the way I should have been. And I actually got points for it. So if you're with your partner who you genuinely do want to have a life with, and you know they want to have a life with you, coming clean, depending on the person, could end things, yeah. But also, it could garner so much respect, so much love, so much passion that it's kind of like an unbreakable bond. Because she finds out about it, which she will, or he will if you're a woman watching to this point. Once they find out about it, then it's going to be, why didn't you tell me? I hate that you did that. If you tell them, it's going to be, thank you for telling me. I hate that you did that. And it's probably going to be okay. If you're two Christian people, men and women, who have talked about getting married, who want to be getting married, who've been together for a considerable amount of time. She hasn't had that many partners, you haven't had that many partners. Then just tell them. Because honestly, it weighing on your heart and you coping and going, oh, I don't want to, I'll tell them tomorrow. If it's appropriate, just text them now. Just text them, say, hey, let me call you. Be a man, have an actual conversation with them. Apologize. If they're like, you know what, me too, then that's a different conversation. Then you both have to go like, okay, we need to not do this because we believe in each other and it's immoral for us to look at other people and it's sinful and we want to be able to be intimate with each other. Give it a little bit of logic, give it a little bit of spirituality, give it a little bit of personal experience and personal opinion, and just conversate about it. And if they're not willing to do that, then you need to keep talking, keep talking, keep talking, keep talking. And until your mindset of, okay, I want to marry this person goes away, you need to stay with them. Because you're probably able to tell if they're considering it or not. Because if they have that problem, then it's a problem. It's an addiction, just like all things. You need to tell them, for your sake, to stop. And if they don't, then they risk losing you. Or they risk their relationship with you being worse. Or they risk the relationship not being able to be fixed, which I believe is impossible. But you never know. That is for identity shifting, and I might come back to environmental changes, but meditation is the next thing. Meditation is essentially like praying, but it's with the self. I had a pastor friend. He's a pastor. I don't know if he's a pastor in training or he's a pastor. He's like 16, 17. And he was talking about when he does like Bible studies, sometimes he'll cancel when he doesn't feel right or he doesn't feel right with God and something's going on in his life. Because the way he explained it to me was that God doesn't move. God's always going to want to be with you. God's always going to want to be open with you. That if you don't feel closeness with him, it's something that you're doing. And he would purposefully wait. He would read his Bible. He would pray. He would do all the things to try and fix his relationship with God. In my opinion, through my years of self-improvement, through my couple years as a Christian, through the knowledge that I have now, I think meditation is good along with praying when you are in this kind of feeling. Nobody feels close to God. Nobody feels like that fulfillment, like happy, like warmth feeling of like godly love when they're jerking it. You only really feel that when you've accomplished something, or you just wake up one day and you like look at the clouds and it's beautiful and you feel like that warm, like holy feeling. I think you know what I'm talking about. When you meditate, that's the thing that gets you right with you. When you pray, that's the thing that gets you right with you and God. But in my opinion, in order to be fully honest when you pray, in order to be fully present without thinking about like random TikTok videos you saw and actually able to maintain the habit of prayer, you need to meditate. Because essentially what it does is it helps your attention span. So you're going to be able to pray longer and harder and focus more. And you know, when you get those random thoughts when you pray and you don't really know like what you were saying before, and you kind of get stumbled and you kind of feel awkward because you're talking to God and like you ended your prayer abruptly because you don't even know like what's happening. Versus if you could do your whole prayer and you go all the way through. And another reason why it's important is that, trying to explain this properly, is that it's kind of like a shield against the bad habits. So meditation keeps you present. It keeps you in the moment. Physically, mentally, whatever you want to do. But it helps you maintain your presence. When you have those urges, you better bet your behind that you're able to become present. Become present where you are. Realize, oh shoot, I need to get up and move because that's what the dude on the internet said. That's what Brandon said. He said, get up, move, do something for a couple minutes, come back if you get the urges again. Keep doing the cycle. It's better to lose sleep than to sin. So, it keeps you present. It's a shield from the bad habits. It's the thing that's going to allow you to, once you know how to act, which I've told you, so you better know how to act, pray, meditate, Bible, all those kinds of things. Again, nobody's jerking it with the Bible in their hand. Literally just put the Bible like on your chest. Just sit, like lay down with it here. I promise you, you will not want to watch porn. You probably will, but you won't. That is everything that I have. if you're interested in Christian-based self-improvement, I disagree with self-improvement for a couple reasons. So it's called Christian-based self-improvement, which is essentially just self-improvement for Christians. I have multiple courses that you can vote for once you're in the community. If you're one or two people that join, then I'll make one of those. Doesn't really matter what's in order. The three that you see here, the mental health one, Peace in the Storm, the quitting porn one, and like maintaining a good relationship with your future wife and all those types of things, is called Path to Purity, which you can also vote for, which is what we're talking about here. And Speak the Truth. Learn how to socialize without being the annoying Christian. That is everything. Thank you for watching. My name has been Brandon. Keep doing the best, doing your best. Trust God, and signing off.